Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Well, I'm back on the Nissan Frontier 2014. We're going to do the rear brakes. If you haven't seen my previous video on the front brakes, go ahead and check that out. But we're going to get back on this thing, get it done. Trying to get this truck ready for fishing season. So let's go. All right, guys. Well, that took like maybe 2 decades to jack this truck up, something like that. Almost grew a beard. I mean, it was ridiculous. But anyway, got the truck in position, and that's what they look like. They don't look too bad compared to the way the front looked. The pads still look pretty worn, so there she is. I'm gonna get started. So the first thing I'm gonna do is come in here and get some PB blaster. I'm gonna spray these bolts for this caliper first, and then we'll start with that. So let me go get the PB blaster and get started here. Okay, so got to take these bolts off first here, this top one and this bottom one right here. And that's a 14 millimeter. So let's start on the bottom. So that's going to be actually tightening it. So this may be a lot different because you got to come up. May have to do this different. No, they come off, come loose. There we go. I think they're only supposed to have like 26 foot-pounds on them, so it's not too bad. So we're going to get these bolts off. I'm just going to lay them up here on the... Well, I better not do that. They'll fall off, and then I'll be going, where's my bolts, man? Okay, now that I got those 2 bolts out of there, the caliper should just slip right off. And it does. And then you want to set this up on the spring so it doesn't put any, because this is a heavy piece, this little caliper. It's pretty heavy. But yeah, you don't want to put any stress on your brake line, so set it up here out of the way. And then take a look at this real quick. Wow. So here's the first brake pad. And she looks pretty rough, actually. So yeah, she was getting close. She was getting down there to where she was going to start grinding here before too long. So there's the first brake pad come off. Let's get the back one. See what it looks like. Now I'm on the driver's side. This back side, it didn't look too bad. Take the clips out. Get new clips with the new brake pads I purchased. So now we've got to take this bracket off because we're going to replace this rotor. I know the rotor doesn't look too bad, but you could tell it was rusting at some point. So let me get this, get my breaker bar, and we'll get this bracket next. All right, guys, put this breaker bar on here, and let's get this thing. Oh, there we go. Got that one loose. Now let's get that one on the bottom. There it goes. The old trusty breaker bar. There we go. So this will get this bracket off of here. And make sure, guys, when you're pulling this bracket off, do not lose the washers. There's one. You go putting this bracket back on without that washer, and it's going to be all goofed up. Alright. So that gets the bracket off, guys. I'm just going to put these bolts back in here. That way the washers won't get lost. It's just a preemptive deal where you're just saving yourself a lot of headache. Alright, I'm going to pull this caliper off. Now, there we go. Okay, guys, now we're going to spray down. This is actually the emergency brake. And I'll show you a little bit about that here in a minute. But right now, we're going to spray this down and clean it up. And we're going to clean all of this and the brake caliper. So let's get going here. I'm just using O'Reilly's brake cleaner. Clean this off a little bit here. Got some bad spots here.
Need that sun to come out.
Okay, finish spraying that off. Boy, she was pretty dirty. Dirtier than it initially looked. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this bracket too, guys. Okay, let that dry. Okay, the new rotors that I'm gonna put on the rear brakes is I got them at O'Reilly's. They're Brake Best Select Premium. Part number for the rear is 368 RGS. And so let's open this up. This is going to have to go on next. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to spray this down with some of that brake clean right there and get any storage residue off of it. They usually put a anti-corrosive spray on it for storage and shipment so that they don't rust and corrode. So let's get ready to do that, and then once I get it on here, then I'll show you how to adjust this emergency brake. Alright, this is the emergency brake adjustment right here. And what happens is when you turn this clockwise, it raises the brake shoe up against your rotor. So if you turn it counterclockwise, it lowers your brake shoe away from your rotor. So if you want to apply more pressure to your rotor, you have to raise it. So that's the adjustment right there. And I'll adjust it whenever I get ready to put the rotor on. So also on the rotor, you'll see there's a hole. And that hole goes over that adjustment there on the emergency brake. And it's just you just cover it with a little grommet. So you just take that little grommet and you just pop that dude in there like so. And it covers that hole up. So, and then that way you can also make the adjustments. So that's kind of the explanation of how the emergency brake works. All right, guys, we're ready to put this new rotor on. I got it cleaned off. I got the rubber grommet put in for the emergency brake adjustment. And I was wrong on that. It's actually counterclockwise, and it pushes the brake shoe up on the rotor. It's clockwise that loosens it. So right now I'm in the process of trying to get this adjusted. So it's kind of where we're at right now. It kind of feels like you want it kind of snug enough to where you can feel it, but yet it's still allows the rotor to be free. Now, one thing we could do is I could go in here and pull the emergency brake and just see what, you know, if it stops any movement. Okay, the emergency brake is on. It feels tighter, but to me, that's not good enough. So let's adjust it some more. See, I think what happens is these pads get worn down, and that's why you need to adjust it. And I probably need to replace all of this, but it's a little late for that now. And it's an emergency brake, so it ain't like okay, let's try it now. Oh yeah, see, look at it. It's not even hardly moving now. I think we might have gotten it, guys. All right, let's do one, like a quarter turn. And that should be right on the money. Okay, let's apply the brake. Oh yeah, that's solid. There we go, guys. That's how you adjust your emergency brake. Okay, now we're going to put the caliper bracket back on. That's going to be the next step. And let's see here. Everything looks really good with the with the rubber seals there. So I think we're pretty good with that. So let's get this dude back on here. There we go. Can't see. There we go. All right. So remember, don't forget the washer. Okay, and those will need to be torqued to, I believe it's 85 foot-pounds. Alright guys, so the brake pads I'm using today are from O'Reilly's as well. It's Brake Best Select Premium. And the part number on it is SC1100. These are ceramic brake pads. So we're going to get those put on next. Alright, we're ready to put our clips in for the brake pads. So they just go in like so. And they'll snap into place. Well, get in there, dude. There we go. Why are you not wanting to go in there? There it went. Finally. Okay, then one on the top. They can be a little finicky sometimes to get clipped in there. There it went. Alright. So now for the brake pads, you're going to want to take a little bit of grease and put on the ends. Like I showed you in the previous video on the front brakes. It's the same thing on the back. So you don't need a whole lot. Just a little bit right there. And that's just a contact point where the caliper touches the brake pad. So just do both ends. And you don't need a whole lot. Probably got too much on this end. But yeah, I'll get some of that off of there. There you go. So we'll put that one in first and slip that into the brackets here. I can't see. There we go. All right, so that one's in. I'll be glad when I get all of this done because then I can go out on the lake, go fishing, and start doing some fishing videos. I haven't shot a fishing video since last year. I've just been too busy with my boat and this truck to even have the time, you know. So, yeah, I'll be real happy when all of this is over with. Alright, so that's that one. Well, get in there, dude. Quit giving me a hassle. Ah, you bugger. You little booger. There we go. Now it'll go in. All right. All right, so that gets the brake pads on. So now the next step is we're going to have to collapse that caliper piston so that we can slip it right over the brake pads. Okay guys, I got my brake pad spreader tool, and then I just used one of the old brake pads, and I'm going to use this to compress this cylinder back up. But before you do this, make sure that you take the cap off the brake fluid reservoir in your engine compartment. That way it'll be able to release a little bit of pressure off of the here. So let's start putting pressure on the cylinder and get it compressed up there. That way it'll fit over the new pads. Okay, it's fully compressed. We're good to go. We should slip right on there. Alright guys, we're ready to put this caliper back onto the caliper bracket. But before we do that, we need to put a little bit of grease on the outside of these brake pads where the caliper is going to be touching the pads. So let's do that real fast, and then we'll slip that caliper back on. Alright, let's put this caliper back on the caliper bracket. Now that I got grease on the pads, there we go. So she's installed. And you're going to torque these bolts to 26 foot-pounds. Alright, well that completes the install on the driver's side. So I'm not going to show you the passenger side because it's just basically the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and put my tire back on here and get the other side jacked up and get it done. So once I get it done, I'll let you know, and we'll probably go ahead and take a ride and see how she does. Okay, so on the passenger side here, it's just like the front brakes. If you watched my previous video on the front brakes, you're going to have one brake pad that has the bracket on it, and that goes on the back side. So I've got to grease this one up, but I just wanted to show you that real quick. Here's the old one. So looking at it, you can see the difference. It's worn down quite a bit, but you know, you can tell this is a much better pad. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that's the only difference between the driver's side and the passenger. Alright guys, we're going to test this brakes. I've already pumped them up, and man, I'm telling you, they're solid. Like, let me tell you, I bought this truck. It had 700 or 1,000 miles on it. I can't remember. But it was a lease truck for the dealer, the Nissan dealer. And so, basically, they were just, it was a parts truck. So I got a good deal on it. And anyway, when I got it, I always thought, man, these brakes aren't that great, you know? So I can tell you right now, these brakes are better than they were when I bought the truck. So, and I've put 63,000 miles on this truck. So let's test these brakes out, and they feel really good. Hopefully I can get out of here without, I'm really close to my boat. So I gotta really baby it out of here. It's kind of muddy too. We've had a lot of rain and we got boats coming in and out of here and stuff, so anyway, it is what it is. All right. So, here we go. Oh, they feel great. They feel great. Yep, and definitely glad that job's over, guys. I wanted to get it out of the way before April because I'm gonna be doing a lot of fishing this spring, and you know, brakes is something you got to have when you're pulling a bass boat. So I'm really happy to get this done. So right now we're gonna run on over to the car wash, I think, and give this baby a bath. So I guess we'll see you there.
Everything working for you?
Yeah, yeah, everything's cool, man.
You see your receipt?
Yeah, there it goes. Cool, thank you. Have a good one.
You as well.
All right, guys, we're going through the car wash. I pulled my mirrors in. I took the antenna off. So I'm gonna give a little space in between me and that car. They always seem to place the cars too close to each other, seems like to me. Makes me paranoid. All right, she's in neutral. Cool, man. I probably should be showing you guys this. I mean, what the heck? Here. Check it out. Getting her done. Turn my parking lights on. She getting the bath. Check it out. Isn't it amazing? I remember 30 years ago how we had to clean automobile. Pretty brutal. Now it's just easy peasy. Isn't that cool? Alright, now we're entering the dryer. See them big long tubes there? up ahead of you too. All right, I'm gonna have to put you down here, Sadie. Well, I think I'm good. All right, here we go. Awesome, let's find me a stall here. Man, they got some ruts in the middle of the road there they need to take care of. All right, let's find us a stall here. All right, let's take a gander at the goods. Check it out, guys. They're looking pretty sharp now. New brakes. Looking pretty sharp, ain't she? That scared the crap out of me.
Sorry about that.
It's all good. Put the mirrors back. All right. Let's go back over here and get the antenna. Yeah, I always take the antenna off, man. Then you don't have to worry about it. Tighten her down just snug. Good to go. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. It was quite a project, but we got her done and I'm happy with it. So if you enjoyed the content, like, subscribe, and till the next project, go do something.